This short video is on how to get students to share and respond to the writing that they are doing in class. Now remember, the 5-step writing process, and you're teaching each of these steps, what to do before writing, generating ideas, drafting, getting those first ideas like a blob of clay on the wheel. Revision is shaping, going back. That's the heart of the writing process. Editing is where you look for grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors. And then share or publish. That's what makes writing come alive. That's the magic that happens. So most of your writing activities or writing lessons involve just 3 of these steps. And the entire activity could take anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes at most. The pre-write, you do something to get them ready to write. You prime the pump, maybe by reading a short story or excerpt, get them thinking about something, list, turn to a neighbor, something to just get them writing or thinking about writing. The draft is where they get their ideas on paper, and it should look very sloppy. And then the sharing part. This is what makes it come alive, and this is what we are doing here. When they write for real audiences, the writing comes alive and it helps them shape the writing. This is what helps people become better writers. And it can be very simple. Turn to a neighbor and share what you've written today, or find someone that you haven't talked with for a while. You can trade with a neighbor and write the responses or ideas right on the paper. Students can get together in small groups. Younger students, small groups should be no more than 3. Older students, 4 to 6. You can create online books or post things so students can respond to it. Display the writing, or the author's chair is where 1 or 2 students are selected to share with the whole class. And I'd recommend no more than 2 students a day do this. However, you can't expect students to know how to respond, so you have to give them some sort of structure. And I like having a poster up in a classroom that gives them options, especially younger students. Boys and girls, as you respond, as you talk about or write on the paper, here are 4 things that you can do. I like this part. I want to know more about this part. Tell me about this. Have you thought about adding this? Or what does it make you think about? Those are just 4 simple ones. And adopt and adapt. Maybe you'd want to have 2 of these, maybe different ones, but provide some sort of structure to help students know how to respond. Eventually, this becomes not necessarily, and students know how to respond. Other ideas for older students, again, have a poster. What would you like to know more about? What could the writer add? Describe similar feelings or experiences. What do you want to say to the writer? These are for older students. I would say 5 and above, grade 5 and above. And again, the idea is that you're providing some sort of structure, some ideas, so they know what to say to that student individually or in small group, or what to write on the paper. Now, getting a response is different from editing. It is responding to an idea. Remember, the purpose for a planned writing experience is for the students to write about, share, or describe their ideas and their experiences, not necessarily to write about something that you want them to do. However, sometimes you do have to provide a prompt, but you want these prompts to be wide open, and I'll show you an example of that. But the students will write. That's just your basic wide open writing lesson plan, where they decide what they want to write about that day. And you have to give them some structure for that. Maybe you have to list some ideas in a journal about things they might want to write about. If you have a prompt, the students will write about and insert your topic or prompt there. As we've talked in other places, you want students to write from within themselves, and getting the right prompt is both a science and an art. There's a writing thing, and here is students will write. You describe where they'll write. They'll go back to their class, whatever. That's the during writing. And then the post writing is how they will share, and you'll select one of these in a writing lesson plan. And again, remember, if you are designing a writing prompt, and this is both a science and an art, you want students to write from within themselves. And you always test questions and prompts out on yourself. If you have trouble responding to it, your students will as well. So always test them out on yourself. Here is the teacher-directed writing lesson plan. Students will write about, and this is where you supply a prompt of some sort. It should be wide open though, so the students write about something within their lives. Pre-writing is short. Draft writing, 5 to 10 minutes, but usually you watch until the energy leaves the pencil. And then you say, okay, finish up the idea that you're on and you'll be sharing with your group or something. And the post writing is the magic that makes the writing come alive. Same thing, if it's in wide open, you'll simply have students will write. That is your prompt, and they choose the writing topics.